Conversion Waterfall is a beautiful tool of customer analysis, and you can use it for lots of different things, but what I like to use it for is understand where we lose customers. A lot of customer analysis is about retention, understanding key purchase criteria, etc., etc. Before you embark into all of that, just work out where do we lose customers. And typically what you do is, if we have a look here, you create on the horizontal axis a number of steps. So for example, here we have awareness, knowledge, liking, preference, visit, purchase. These are steps by which you try and work out where, is your customer aware of your brand? Do they know what you do? Are you one of the favorite suppliers? Do they prefer you? Do they come often? And do they purchase a lot? And in this exercise, we're going to look at Uniqlo, a Japanese clothes retailer, and we're looking at two different markets, Malaysia and Philippines. And when we look at the percentage of the population who meets the various criteria, you can see very clearly, very quickly, two very different shapes. Okay? In Malaysia, great awareness, great knowledge, and then it dips at liking. But once it's, those who like convert really well into purchase. In the Philippines, by contrast, you've got, not as high level of awareness, but it trickles down all the way to purchase. Now imagine that you're faced with a decision to alter your approach to market. Once you understand the conversion waterfall and you have the data here, you have two very different responses. Okay, you might see that in the Philippines, for example, let's have a go at increasing awareness, which in retails means advertising and opening more stores, and then hopefully from a slightly higher level of awareness will trickle into higher sales. In Malaysia, it's slightly tougher, because you have already a high level of awareness and knowledge, but there's a big drop in liking. So whatever you do, you have to change something. Oh, and by the way, you're caught between a rock and a hard place, because can you see that liking converts really well into purchase here? So whatever you do for these customers, you shouldn't change anything. Okay? So conversion waterfall is a great way to diagnose the point at which in a conversion process you lose customers, and then you can focus your efforts to understand a bit more why, and therefore what you do to change. Let's see another simple illustration here, a project for Goldman Sachs, where the HR department, for Siemens, and we're looking at two subsidies given to employees. One is bike to work, so giving a little bit of money for people who come to work by bicycle, and then a gym subsidy, subsidizing membership in gym. And if you look at the trickle here, we'll recognize, as we saw on the previous slide, that both we lose customers at different points in the cycle for both of these. Okay, and then once you identify where you lose each of these, then you do something a bit different. And typically here, one of the things you've noticed at the bottom is we've slightly reworded the criteria, because awareness, knowledge, liking, preference of all these subsidies still apply. Instead of visit, we've used the word apply, so people who apply to be the beneficiary of the subsidy, and then use is the equivalent of purchase in the retail context, which is people who use it regularly. Okay, so conversion waterfall, very simple rules. You think of a number of steps that customers typically go through between sort of awareness all the way to regular usage / purchase, depending on the industry you're looking at. And then you make sure that you document the different ways in which that, typically medium to high awareness turns into much lower purchase, and you spot where you lose customers, and that helps you target your next initiatives.